Hey, this is Donnie Smith back with another DIY auto body and paint Q&A. And today we're going to talk about the different grits used for removing paint coatings and for sanding body filler. And for removing paint coatings, you've got a couple options. You can use a grinder, and the grits on those range from 24 grit to 50 grits, what's generally used. More 36 and 50, but there is a 24 grit as well. This is a 36 grit 3-inch grinding disc, and the lower the number, like 36 is going to be coarser than 80. So the lower the number, the more coarse the sandpaper. The higher the number, the more fine the sandpaper is going to be, the more it's going to be a finer grit. Also got a 5-inch that is used quite a bit, and this is for bigger dents, goes on a grinder. And these also come in 24, 36, and 50. Probably on newer cars, 50 is going to be the more common used. 36 may be a little bit coarse for some of the thinner metals. Also with some of the thin cars, because when you're grinding it does remove metal, so another option that you can use is DA sandpaper, for dual action sander. And it takes a little bit longer, but it does not remove near as much metal. And those come in 36 and 80 as well. This is 36 grit dual action sandpaper, and you can put that on a dual action sander and remove the coating. And also they have 80 that you can use. Either one works fine, but these are basically as what are used, the different sandpaper grits that are used for removing coatings. And you can see, like this one here is 36 grit. Whenever it grinds it, it puts real deep scratches in there. But that's good because you're wanting to remove that coating as quickly as possible. But the reason you may use DA pads is it does not remove metal like the grinding discs do. It'll takes a little bit longer to remove the coatings, but on these thinner metals and some of the newer thinner metals, it's a lot safer. So it's kind of a little quicker. It can thin and overheat the metal, and these can overheat the metal too, but you don't take the chance of removing too much metal. So that's your two options for removing coatings. Now when you go to sand and body filler, you got a range. The range of sandpapers used for that are anywhere from 36 to 180, or some painters even like 220, to finish their body filler off in 220. What I do is if it's a bigger dent, I will use 36, and this is the more coarser paper, and that's going to level better than a finer paper. The coarser paper is generally going to level your body filler. It's going to level it faster, and it'll prevent it from getting lumpy on you. If you go real fine sandpapers too soon, you're just going to get your body filler kind of lumpy. So this puts the real deep scratches in it. And again, that's just to get it leveled. Once it's level, you don't want to switch too fast. Then you can move to something like your 80. And all this is used for is to make those 36, those bigger scratches, smaller with the finer sandpaper. So you'll go over that just to sand those out. But like I said, you don't want to start switching off to your finer papers too soon, or else your body filler may become lumpy. And then there's one more stage you need to do before priming, and that's I use 150 grit, and that's to minimize the 80 grit scratches. And like I said, some painters use 180 or 220 to do this. But 150, the primer that we use, covers 150 grit sand scratches just fine. So I'll go over the 80 grit scratches with 150 just to minimize those scratches. You don't want to sand too much with that and get your body work wavy or lumpy or anything, just to minimize the scratches. Then once you have it sanded with 150 or 180, whatever your preference is, you can feather edge around the edges with some 220 grit, and you'll be ready for primer. Now in the next video we'll talk about sanding, block sanding your primer and final sanding, getting it ready for paint. But that pretty much wraps this one up, and we'll see you in the next one.